watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Are you ready? I'm saying, are you ready?
Watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favourite podcast platform. Or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Right, Chris.
All right. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good day, good night, goodbye. Hello, wherever you are in the world. Excuse me if I'm looking at different things here because I've had a bit of a move around in the studio. Never a good idea just before you do to go live. But hey, when was the last time I had a good idea? I can't remember. Anyway, how are we doing? It is the FA Cup this weekend, and we've got another derby. We've got Birmingham. You know what it's like. You're waiting years and years and years for a decent derby, and then two come along within the period of a couple of months. Of course, the last one was the not-to-be Sky derby of Vardy versus Rooney. That was a shame for Sky, wasn't it? Yeah, we'll leave it at that, Sky. You got what you deserved there. So it's the next round of the FA Cup. It could have been Birmingham. It could have been Hull. We've got Birmingham. They made a bit of hard work getting past Hull, but they're there now, and they come to Filbert Street on Saturday. There isn't a watch-along this Saturday because as much as I love you guys, I'm with my daughter in London. I'd sooner do that if I'm honest with you. Sorry, as much as I love you all, I love her more. But you can get it on ESPN, allegedly. I didn't say that out loud, so don't quote me on that. But look, some say he's Jesus Christ. Some say, would you not just fix his bloody camera? All we know is he's called the Brad. Brad, good evening, sir.
Good evening, mate. I would say it's good to be here and be seen by everybody, but my phone has other ideas, and my curse with technology continues, as I've just alerted to in the back that my laptop is not a fan of charging up. So I suppose I get a better look for now, but I am trying to work the camera in the background when I'm not speaking. So, yeah.
No, it's well, come along. Obviously, you were a naughtier boy for Santa than you thought you were. You got you a laptop that doesn't work.
Yeah. It sounds like I was accidentally on the naughty list, and this is Santa's little twisted joke towards me not being on camera. So, although all I'm saying is, Chris, normally when I first come on camera, we lose a viewer, and this time we've gained a viewer. So maybe it's best that I just start off camera to help people ease into my allure.
Every cloud, as they say, every cloud.
Yeah, well, that is true.
Look, we've got a guest, and it's very nice to have him. What can I say about him? All I can say is, some say that he's Birmingham's biggest fan. Some say that he actually is hiding on a witness protection scheme in Coventry. All we know is he's called the Robe. How are you doing?
Hello, Chris. Hello, Brad. Hello, everyone. You okay?
We are
good to be here.
I'm sorry, before we go any further, I need to see the dressing gown.
Oh, the dressing gown? Yeah, there you go.
Dressing gown. Oh, he is. Oh, good man.
LCFC dressing gown.
Yeah, apparently it's all you ever wear on camera.
I know. Yeah, people go mad if I don't wear it. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, it's my my choice of fashion. I don't wear it on a match day though. I get some funny looks if I did.
I'm going to say, do you go shopping in it?
No. It's purely for Monday nights only.
Well, the thing is, you can't go out in it because, as I've just alluded to, although you are a Birmingham fan, you for some reason decided to move to Coventry.
Yeah, I'm born and bred Brummie, but when I met my missus, I moved to Coventry. So fate brought me here. Not a million miles from you guys, to be fair.
Well, no,
so,
it's not. Fate is probably not the word I would use, and I'm sorry, mate, but you need to put your foot down. You know, women need to know that they come second when it comes to American football.
You haven't seen the rolling pin she's got.
Apparently nobody has because it's inserted somewhere. You know, and I'm sorry because I didn't mean to upset any women. That was just my Joey Barton impression. But, let's just say hello to a few people. Nate is in from America. Good evening, Nate. How are you? Spencer, evening, Chris. Where's your Leicester shirt this evening, mate? Look, I knew I could not compete with the robe, so I thought, look, I'm just best to come in a normal shirt. Michael Stroke David is in. Hello, mate. How are you doing? Ronald McDonald is in as well. Highfields is our regular witness protection scheme person. How are you, Highfield? Where are you hiding out tonight? He's all over the country. We never know where he's coming from. Andrew, I thought you were going to say Jasper Carrot. And
he's a legend.
I thought you were going to, then Jasper Carrot seems to be a theme running through, showing how old my average viewer is. But let's start. Obviously, we've got the match coming up. Move on from your robe. First of all, Brad, I'll bring you in because obviously it could have been Birmingham or Hull. I don't think we were particularly bothered which, were we?
No, not really. I was kind of not just glad it was a home tie. Although last year's FA Cup, that didn't work well for us playing a team that began with B. So who knows? It's not, it's not always a given. It's sort of a competition that we've said since the get-go, before we was even in the third round, that it's always a nice competition. We've kind of had our moment through our era. We've seen our club lift it, but the biggest priority is obviously getting out of the Championship, given our state of play of that. But it would be nice just to kind of nudge a West Midlands rival out of competition. Don't want to give them too many bragging rights. We saw how Coventry handled beating us just in the league when they were minus 25 points off us. So,
yeah. Well, like I said, they are still celebrating, of course, Coventry. Birmingham, Mark, how do you view this competition? I mean, we're going to come on to obviously your season generally in a bit, but I suppose, and as silly as it sounds, avoiding relegation is your number one. Yeah,
I mean, 2 weeks ago under Mr. Rooney, I think we would have sacrificed this game and said, look, it's all about the league. Since Tony Mowbray's come in, it's so different now. It's like a weight has been lifted. So I can't wait for Saturday, if I'm honest. I mean, I love the FA Cup anyway. I mean, you guys have won it recently, and not too long ago we lifted the Carling Cup. So I would love another trip to Wembley. It's probably, if I'm honest, unlikely it's going to happen, but I just want to go as far as I can in it. I think the relegation war we've got a bit of a cushion now, and we're playing quite well, so I think we'll be safe. I'd love to go as far as we can in the cup. I think we should give it a good go. I'm hoping we play a full strength team. And we're taking just over 5,000 on Saturday, which I can't wait. I remember I went to the last cup game just before COVID, and the atmosphere that night was absolutely superb. So I'm hoping for a repeat of that. If I'm honest, it's going to be a tough. I mean, I don't know how you guys are you going to play full strength, or is Mr. Vardy likely to start, or
we don't know. We'll have to grab that in a second. Because we have few problems at our end.
But I think like I say, I think now that it's like the new manager. It's the old cliche, isn't it? The old manager, the new manager bounce. I really hope we get some sort of result on Saturday. I'd love to just be in the draw for the next round.
I don't think it'll come down, to be totally honest with you.
No.
I think there's at least 3 worse clubs than you, if not probably 4 or 5 come the end of the season. And it's difficult because you weren't. Carry on.
Sorry, Chris. No, I was just going to say, it's all about our mantra that we talk about on our show is mid-table success. Now, if you're not a Blues fan, you're probably thinking that's a bit boring, but we are fed up of finishing 17th. it's not much fun anymore. But anything round about mid-table, we'd take that. Stable and build for next season.
Yeah, well, I totally think that you are. I mean, we're going to have a bit of a new manager bounce, aren't we, Brad? Because we've got Enzo back on the touchline.
Yeah, and I think that was missing a little bit in the last game. I think his immediate message gets out there a bit quicker when they're on the touchline. And then sitting up on the stands on the mobile phone or the walkie-talkies or however they choose to do it when they get a ban, which they're not supposed to do, but that's obviously how any manager has a loophole around it. I think it's also needed. I know I said an FA Cup's like kind of a little bit of a distraction, but you don't want to get ahead of the apple cart. I think we'll rotate a little bit, but I think we've dipped in this in the league situation. I think we have a little bit of a luxury that where if Birmingham decide to rotate, they're probably giving players a chance to put themselves in the market late on. Outside players, youngsters. Whereas Leicester have already been benefiting from the rotation and the strength of their squad, that they've probably got players that even if they come in from the cold, Chris, we're still going to have a fairly strong lineup. So, I know it's a loss and a draw, and we've had worse runs, and by that I mean we've basically, we've basically had 2 losses. This is the only other worse run than we've had. But it'd be nice just to kind of not make that 2 defeats and a draw in all competitions as well. I suppose because Birmingham are there, it does add that extra spice to the occasion, doesn't it? A little bit. Instead of Hull, with the greatest respect.
Yeah, no, it does, because at the end of the day, I mean, we struggled for any sort of derby. We were claiming playing Wolves as a derby for a few years in the Premier League. That's how desperate we were. And now, like you say, we got Coventry, we've got Birmingham, we have you guys 3 times in one season. Let's deal with the elephant in the room. I don't mean that because he'd put a bit of weight on, but Mr. Rooney. I mean, we touched on him before we came live. You were doing, I thought, all right. I mean, you were something like 6th or 7th, weren't you? When Rooney was brought in, and then all went wrong. And look, every club does it. Leicester, we've done it in the past. We all go a little bit Watford at times, don't we? And I said to you before, it was more for me from the outside, and obviously, I don't know Birmingham, so your thoughts would be interesting. From the outside, it looked like let's get a name in, rather than let's get somebody who's got real experience in getting a team out of this league.
Absolutely. I don't get me wrong. John Eustace did a great job, and I really like John. But he was, I don't think, hand on heart, I don't think he was top 6 material. Having said that, call him average, but Mr. Rooney was far below average. I mean, that was just bonkers. We've made some massive mistakes in our history, but that will go down as one of the biggest ever. Those 15 games I've just erased from the memory bank. I just want to start pretend it never happened. I've got a counselling session tomorrow. No joking. It was, it was bizarre. I mean, in a weird sort of way, his first home game against Hull was toxic, and in a weird sort of way, I wanted him to come good to sort of shut people up, because the abuse he was getting, I've never seen anything like it for your home debut. But no, he just got worse and worse, and in the end, we resorted to playground tactics. It was just all out attack. It was all no defence. I mean, when we played you guys, I mean, you exploited the space, but we did that every week. There was no rhyme or reason to his formations, to his tactics. He didn't seem to instill any confidence in the dugout. And the difference with Mr. Mowbray, I mean, Tony's come in and it's just so much better. I mean, we touched upon it before we came on air, and it's like going back 10 or 15 years to almost like the Alex McLeish days. We're solid. We're not too gung-ho. We're back to basics. Saturday at Stoke, we picked up a really good win. And the confidence is back, and that's partly why I'm looking forward to the weekend, because it's going to be so tough against you guys in your own backyard. But I wouldn't write us off like I would before Christmas. I think we're capable.
I wouldn't think it's going to be that hard. We do have a habit this season of shooting ourselves in the foot. I mean, I'd certainly be playing you with Mr. Rooney still in charge. Let me put it that way, because having said that, even then, you nearly pulled us back and got a draw, didn't they, Brad?
That's what I think. Sorry, Brad.
Oh, sorry. No, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, we scored the 2 goals, and it's a crumb of comfort, if you like, that we've proved that we can score. So if we keep it tight at the back, you never know. I personally, I mean, it's early prediction, but I think it could well be a draw and a replay.
I mean, Brad, that wouldn't be the end of the world, but we did nearly shoot ourselves in the foot against Birmingham, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did that through a couple of games in this end of December, January period, didn't we? I think we had both results against Millwall were exactly the same. So maybe a bit of tired legs caught up with us over that period. But I agree. I think Birmingham's a lot tougher test with Rooney. It's almost like former footballers shouldn't be offered a very high substantial job in either the Premier League or the Championship on merit, on name alone. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm just got a Rooney hate for Vardy's sake on it. But Steven Gerrard, Scott Parker, Frank Lampard 3 times with Leeds and Chelsea twice with Chelsea. Maybe these are just very good examples that I'm having in a purple patch that proves that just because you were good at kicking the ball on the pitch doesn't mean you're good at organising it from the sidelines. So I do agree with what you're saying from your sake and a Birmingham's perspective for their season. They are a lot better off with the appointment of a manager that's got it. I won't go too harsh on Rooney here. I'll just say he's got the experienced managerial brain as Mowbray, and I don't want to replay though, Chris. I heard you say that then you weren't too bothered. I don't want an extra game for the season. We've already hit the 50-point mark. This will game 51 without any more games played this season. If we were to go out to Birmingham, I'd rather either knock them out the cup or get knocked out at this point. That's where I'm at. I don't want a replay. I don't want a game going to extra time in the next round as well, because I think it's the 5th round where that rule comes in. So I just want it one and done. Tony Mowbray's going to make it hard to break them down.
All I'm thinking of is, Brad, is that Daka's on his way back, and I know you mentioned Vardy earlier, Mark, but he's not exactly in the best scoring form at the moment. So when he got Cannon and he struggled against Ipswich. So all I'm thinking, Brad, is if it does go to a replay, because Daka is on his way back, he's not going to be fit for this game from coming back from AFCON, but he would be fit if we had a replay.
Yeah, but unfortunately, whilst we have like 5 or 6 very good players and a few on the outskirts, we don't have a cup side, if you will. We'd still be asking Dewsbury Hall to probably play. We'd probably be asking Harry Winks to play. It's away from home as well, so they'd be right up for it even more so. So you couldn't, and then you're maybe, giving Henzo an unnecessary headache of deciding between a player that's coming back and trying to make sure he doesn't injure himself on a return, but he needs minutes under his belt to kind of get up to match fitness, and playing someone of a better quality who's in the first team all the time. So for me, it's just a headache that's not needed. I get what you're saying with certain return players, but they've also come back from an international tournament. They don't need the match practice in a sense. They just need a week's training, shake the jet lag off, and then get straight back into the championship side. I don't want an added game, because then the fixture congestion becomes a problem itself, Chris. You know, the fifth round gets drawn, we play a couple of league games, and all of a sudden we're playing midweek because we have to play the fifth round at a different date because of our replay. I think it's more of a headache. I think both teams would benefit from the tie being decided on the night.
We have a midweek game anyway coming up on Tuesday. I mean, it's just the joy of being in the championship, I guess, isn't it? But I mean, Mark, we when we came down, everybody's been having a go at Leicester, saying like, hey, you know, you're a Premier League team and you've got all this cash, you know, slurping about, and you're getting the payments, you know, for the parachute payments and all this, that and the other. And I always say, look, if we were a Premiership team, we'd still be there. You know, we're not. Obviously, we weren't good enough to be a Premiership team. We sold 3 players for about £100 million. We only spent about 30 million on players coming in. We let about 20 go and brought about 9 in. And we're struggling to be able to get 2 million together because we're trying to stick to FFP and pay off our debts. You know, we're struggling to get £2 million together to bring a midfielder in to replace Cassidy, who's gone back to Chelsea. So really, I mean, do you still see us as sort of, a lot of people say, like the Man City or the PSG of the Championship?
I don't think from you will go back up. I had you down as champions back in, you know, I think most people did. Had you down to win the league, and I still think you will. Everyone gets a blip, and I think, you know, you're having yours. Yeah, I mean, compared to a lot of clubs, yeah, I do think you're streets ahead of a lot of people. I mean, I've only seen you play in the flesh once, obviously against us, and you just it's like playing a Premier League side. So yeah, I think I'm probably representative of a lot of clubs, and we do see you as the best in the league. I'll be shocked if you don't finish in the top 2.
Well, yeah, I mean, we sat at the top of the league, and I think it's nice to see that Leicester have gone back to what they do best, which is buying good, young, hungry players, you know, and that's why we spent a lot less. But we haven't got these vast amounts of money, because, like I say, we need a new midfielder, and we're struggling to go. We can't spend 2 million on one until we've sold somebody. But you're saying about Vardy. Vardy he probably will start, or at least he'll have time on the pitch, but he hasn't been in the best scoring form. Tom Cannon, of course, you'll know from last season when he was at Preston. He sort of kept coming, and he had a good start. Fatawu is the good news for you, because he committed harikiri against Coventry, and as much as I applaud him for actually clashing into a Coventry player, it was a bit needless, and he's got a 2-match ban. But Mavadidi, who got a couple against you last time out, is in. He did. Who is it? Is there any particular players that you sort of really worry about from Leicester's point?
I mean, call me old school, but Vardy worries me, because he's very similar to when we had Kevin Phillips 2 years ago. You know, 37, 38, and he could finish, you know, like a 19-year-old. So Vardy does worry me if he starts. It's just sort of game from our perspective he'd be well up for, you know, especially not playing at St Andrews. But he worries me, to be fair. The ones you've mentioned, the usual suspects, you know, Dewsbury Hall, Madavidi, you just go through your whole side. They're all a bit of a worry, to be fair. I'm hoping you do rotate, you know.
Brad, do we need to rotate though? I mean, not been awful. We've not played, you know, since last weekend. We're playing now. Yes, we've got Swansea on Tuesday, but they should be able to handle that, shouldn't they?
They should. I just feel like the Leicester squad at the moment is going through a bit of a difficult spell, either through injuries or suspension. So they're a little bit lighter on numbers than we're used to. So, I mean, I've just seen now, I think it's by Andrew's posted, about KDH. I'm not expecting huge rotation. I mean, for instance, I still feel like McAteer could use some minutes under his belt. Maybe Cody comes in at the back, because you do want to keep these people fresh that are available for us, just in case. So, again, you're talking like for like, aren't you? You're talking maybe Vardy starts and Cannon comes off the bench, who's been playing well even when he's not been scoring. He's had a very good few chances. It seems like them goals have really helped his confidence. And again, Pratt coming in for KDH. It's the ideal scenario for Leicester would be play the likes of Pratt, play your McAteers. I'm not sure does Fatu ban account towards the FA Cup or league games, because if it does, then that's fine. You know you can play McAteer there. You've got Eunice on the bench. You can maybe put him in the middle. You know, so we're talking outskirts to squad players will play, but I still think it'll be. I don't think come Saturday. I know we're not doing a watch long, but you know, I'll probably still message you anyway, forgetting, and I'll be like, oh, decent lineup, because I don't think we have an all-round weakened squad, unless he's literally going to dip into the 21s, which I just can't see Enzo doing, because he seems to take these competitions as strong as possible.
I don't think we'll see the 7 that you sometimes used to see. I think it might only be 2 or 3, you know, allowing for those that are injured. I mean, Mark, the one that springs to mind from your side for me is obviously Jordan James. I mean, he got 2 goals against us. One of your top players.
Yeah, I mean, he's improved so much. I mean, he was in and out the side last year, and probably started this season in and out the side. But he's come on in leaps and bounds. He really has improved. He's improved his goal scoring, and he's getting forward. I mean, he scored a few in pre-season, but he didn't quite nail down at a regular place. But the last few weeks, he's been absolutely superb. He really has matured. His finishing, his awareness, his just everything about him has just got better and better. And as a result, we've got 2 Italian clubs who are looking at him, Fiorentina and Atalanta. And I think I read rumour that you guys might be looking at him as well, and West Brom and a few others.
We get linked with everybody, mate. Don't worry. Like I said, we haven't got any money, so don't worry about that.
That's all right. Then that's a relief. No, but I mean, JJ, you know, I imagine he'll start on Saturday, and hopefully he'll have a good game. But I mean, apart from JJ, I mean, we've got Miyoshi, who's on form as well. Little Japanese international. Miyoshi, we've got Bakuna. We have got players who can hurt people. So, like I say, going on about Stoke away on Saturday, and you know, every time we go forward now, we look positive. We look like we want to score a goal. Players know what they're doing, and you know, it's going to be a really good game.
What sort of tactics, formation will you be? I mean, we will almost certainly go 3-5-2-1. It's what we've been playing all season. What sort of formation tactics do you see Tony Mowbray in? Has he made a lot of changes since he took over from Mr. Rooney?
Not massively, to be fair. He's just got them back to basics. I mean, I'd still. It may well go 4-5-1. It's you know, I think we'll play it a bit cautious, to be fair. It wouldn't surprise me if we just had one up front, to be fair, and have a few attacking midfielders going forward. But we very rarely start with 2 up front, you know, 4-4-2. But I think a lot of teams are like that now. I think it's the way the game's going. I think the traditional 4-4-2 is going out the window a little bit.
Well, unless you want one of our previous members called Boris, who seemed to love 4-4-2 and everything that went with it. Yes, it is. Quickly come to you, because I noticed the time, so I'm going to try and let you go here.
Yeah.
But Brad, score predictions.
Don't
worry, Brad. Brad is the worst score predictor we have. But this doesn't count towards the prediction league, so you can go wild, Brad.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel a bit more freedom in saying it. If this was Rooney in charge, I'd have got about 6-0. To be honest with you, I think we'd batter you if Rooney was still in charge. But Mowbray's going to make him defensive. I think the 5 in midfield maybe suits our shape a little bit. We always combat it with the 3-man midfield, and obviously the 2 wingers, and we play inverted wing back, so we're essentially match you middle defensive attacker wise. I see a scrappy game. I'd like to say it'd be comfortable for Leicester and we would win sort of a big score, but I would take a 2-1 Leicester win. I'll take an old school Leicester win in the Championship when we first started. 2-1, sneak it through.
I'm going to agree with you on that one because I'm going to go 2-1 to Leicester as well.
Well, it's a good job it's not for the Predictions League, then, isn't it?
It is, yes. Otherwise, I wouldn't have agreed with you. Earlier in the season, we were playing better. We were able to hold on to leads a bit better. We were scoring goals in the last 15 minutes rather than conceding them. But it's at home, so yeah, I think it's going to be 2-1. I'm sure you're going to see. You did mention a draw earlier. I'm sure you don't want to replay, or do you want to replay? Do you want to take us back to what is the ground? Is it St Andrews again now?
It's St Andrews. Yeah. Forget the Trillion Trophy.
I'm going to say. I was hoping for that. I loved that when I heard that.
No, forget that. At least for this year, anyway. So no, I'm going to stick my neck out and say, well, I think it's going to be 1-1. I think purely the support we're bringing will lift us for a draw, and I can see us both being in the draw for the next round. Put it that way. I'm going to say 1-1.
I think if you're able to frustrate us up until half time, you may find our fans maybe getting on the team a little bit after recent performances. Yeah,
it could be similar to that cup game a couple of years ago when we had a patched up team and we were just holding on for so long, and you got the late winner, the header. But it could be a similar sort of game, to be fair. Yes. I'm going to say both of us in the draw for the next round. Sure. If you're going to win it, you have to beat us, teams like us.
We're going to win it. We've got to beat everybody. It took us 5 times to win the bloody thing, so I don't think I'm hopeful to win it again so soon.
We're still waiting, Chris. To be fair, we've never won it, so maybe one day.
Maybe. Well, look at us. It took us 5 times, so never stop believing, as Journey once said. Appreciate you've got to go, mate. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for inviting me.
Give us a shout out about how people can find you and your show and everything.
Yeah. So Tilt and Talk show. We're on every Monday, 6:30 to 8. We've been going for 10 years or so now. We had our 500th episode on Monday just gone. We have some. Yeah. Thank you very much. We have a brilliant team of presenters. We've had some brilliant guests on, the likes of Robbie Savage and Barry Fry and all legends from our history. So Monday nights we're on Facebook and YouTube Live, and then you can download us on Spotify, Amazon, all the usual channels. But it's
I'm not going to let you go, but it's a very good question here from Ronald. So if I can just ask you one last question.
Yeah.
What you thought about Mavridi's goal celebrations?
Bit cheeky, wasn't it? It's the opposite end to where I am, to be fair. But looking it back afterwards, it's a bit naughty, wasn't it? You got away with that, but I don't think he'll be doing that again, to be fair.
No. I think he learnt his lesson, but well, it was a bit cheeky. But look, it's football, isn't it?
It's banter, yeah. It's just one of them. I'm sure if we did it at your place, it'd be,
You take it for what it is. You take it as a bit of a celebration. Enjoy the fact, because if you ever do go up to the Premier League, you won't be able to celebrate goals for about 10 minutes until they've done the crossword and checked it and put the lines in and everything. So,
well, to be honest, Chris, we rarely get to celebrate goals anyway.
Well, you sounded like Coventry now. You've been living there too long.
Yeah, I know. I'm packing my bags tonight.
All the best. All the best for him. Remember your dressing gown if you do.
I will do. Cheers for that, Chris.
All the best for Tilt and Talk show, and thanks for coming on.
Take care, and you. Best of luck for the future. Bye, Brad. Cheers, Chris. Take care. Ta-ra.
Bye-bye. Right, Brad, I will bring you back. There we go. Look at that. The wonders of modern technology. Some of us can handle it. Brad. So let's just quickly look, because yes, I think there will be changes. I was forgetting the match on Tuesday. I I think, first of all, let's start with the goalkeeper. I think we're going to see Stolchik in goal, aren't we?
Possibly, because he has played a few games, mainly lower league, but he has played in some of the cup games, and he has played. Was it just the one game he had to step in for in the league earlier this season?
Yes, but he's played all the cup games.
Yeah, Enzo's fairly confident, or very confident, shall I say, in his ability. I think Madsen could use the break. I know that, shock horror, I was very critical of the goal he conceded against Ipswich. I know that the ball swerved and moved in midair, but for me, he had to be punching it. He had to be punching it over the bar and punching it away, not just palming it up. I might be being a bit overcritical, but I think he needs a break, and I think he needs to. I think he needs a little bit of a reassurance that he's not the first choice, if that makes sense. I know that's probably the wrong word to say, reassurance, but I think he needs to understand that, just like everybody else out there, his position is up for debate if he's not firing on all cylinders. And I know he made a few good saves, but I'd be happy for Stolarczyk to come in for that role.
I mean, look, he jumped from fourth choice to second choice, so he knows he's got the manager backing him there. Back four, it goes into three, obviously. Last time in the cup, the three were Nelson, Cody, and Doyle. Again, no reason why he shouldn't go for those again.
No, again, Nelson's making the bench. He's obviously spending a lot of time in and around the first team. He's obviously somebody who's caught Enzo's eye in the under-23s. So, I wouldn't be against him playing here. It's a good chance to rest Vestergaard and Faze, get Cody in there. It's a good chance to rest our players before that midweek game. Because, like I've said, as much as I'd like to beat Birmingham, if you're asking me which one we can only win one, I'll take the midweek 3 points. And going out the cup. I know that sounds bad to say it, but I don't think anything wrong with them either.
We want to win every game. But,
of course, we want to win every game, but as preferable is, give me one, and I can't have the other. I'm taking the 3 points midweek over the league. But that defence should be good enough if it was to play and feature against Birmingham to do a good enough job, I reckon.
Yeah. We saw Chowdhury come in, we saw Brighton come on. We had Cassidy, which we haven't got now, and we've got Marchal played as well. Yeah,
like I said earlier, I think Dennis Pratt plays. I think someone like Harry Winks still stays in the team, because I do think you need somebody like that just to marshal that midfield. I think Eunice probably gets some minutes. One man going away is another man's opportunity in this game. So, no Cassidy means, because obviously he's gone back, means Eunice get a chance. I do think, unfortunately, Enzo would have maybe liked the chance to have got Stefano in and maybe got him registered and ready to play for this, but that isn't going to be the case. Things are still happening in that department. So, for me, it's got to be the fringe players, the players that are on the sidelines waiting to impress Enzo and give him a headache. So, I would make them changes.
Nobody seems over-bothered that we lost Cassidy.
No, and we've had this debate a few times throughout the season, and it's kind of frustrating. Because he started off with his debut getting the winning goal against Cardiff, and he was instantly getting his name sung, and everybody seemed to think, well, here we go, we have got the Italian stallion. It didn't work out for him, and quite ironic, because just as he started to show a little bit of form, got himself a couple of goals, Chelsea wanted him back. Now, I feel like that's Leicester's doing a little bit. I feel like with this deal that Leicester are trying to tie up being a permanent one, and Leicester's situation, as you rightly pointed out, with FFP and what we have to do before we can bring in, I do wonder if basically Enzo contacted Chelsea and said, look, we're happy to keep him on loan, but we're after so-and-so, the deal's nearly done, we just need to make room. if we bring him in, Casadet's not going to be playing as much, and Chelsea went, well, we'd rather send him somewhere where he's going to get football, which I do wish him all the best in. But it's just a bit ironic, isn't it, that just as he starts to seemingly find his feet at Leicester and get a couple of goals, that he goes back.
It is weird. It'll be interesting. A lot of Chelsea fans will say maybe it means they're going to sell somebody. I don't know, but I do know that Pochettino is a big fan of his. Question is, Cannon or Vardy? Who do you start?
See, for me, given our situation at the moment, we've literally got them two. And like I said, even though he's not scored in the last, is it 2 games he's not scored? Because he didn't score against Coventry, did he? Playing well has Cannon. He's had chances. You know, he had that big chance against Coventry, actually, to make it 2-0. He had a decent chance against Ipswich, which, again, I think would have made it 2-0. So he's still in good form. He's still showing life for goal. But, again, that midweek game, you know, it's a negative to have to think about, but you think about a potential injury. Right now, I'd rather know that Vardy's got a couple of weeks on the sidelines and we're still doing okay and we've still got Tom Cannon, than Cannon go out there and get injured and not be available for midweek. So for me, I thought I'd never live in a universe where I said this, but I would be starting Vardy to save Cannon for the league game, and only bring on Cannon if it's really necessary, because we are quite limited now in our options up front.
And we shouldn't underestimate Birmingham. It isn't Rooney's Birmingham, it's Mowbray's Birmingham. And somebody said earlier, you know, he's a good old school manager. You know, they've not lost in 4, Birmingham, so he has turned their form around. So fair play to them. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to ask you this though before I'll let you go. And thank you for coming on today. Daka is coming back because Zambia got knocked out of the AFCON. He's not going to be back in time for this, we don't think, unless, you know, Vardy gets injured. But I mean, he'll be match fit. You know what I mean? And he's only coming back from Morocco, so it's only been like a summer holiday journey. Not like he's coming back from the other side of the world. So there's no reason why he couldn't fit. But let's say he's not playing in this game. Moving forward, start with one on the bench. We've got 3 strikers now fit and available. Which 2 are you starting? Or which 2 are you putting in the squad?
This is going to cause controversy, and I'm very glad that a certain ex-subscriber is no longer a part of the community here, because we go mad at what I'm about to say.
Boris, are you by any chance?
I cannot confirm or deny. My lawyers won't allow me to. But please don't hate me, guys, in the chat. But I would start Cannon and I'd have Daka on the bench.
I agree.
I would.
Yes.
Yeah, I just think that's the future right now. Well, not only are they in form, and I know I don't know how his form's gone for Zambia. Obviously, collectively they've not done well, but I don't know if he's managed to get a few goals or whatnot. But yeah, well, there you go. So he's still going to have some form of form for the way he was playing. With us, he had goals to his name. Cannon's playing well. Like I said, he's playing with confidence. Even the chances that aren't hitting the back of the net are really good chances. So for me, it'd be them 2 going forward, because I know we nearly lost Daka at the end of the transfer window in the summer, and I think in a way the AFCON's kind of saved us being able to do any winning and dealing with him in regards to the January window. But out of all our strikers we actually have at the club, Cannon and Daka have the 2 longest contracts, and I think Daka only has another year on it after this season, so that's not saying much. But potential there that if these 2 can keep chopping, changing, and take over the reins, as much as I hate to say it, my love child Ian Acho and Vardy could be gone come the end of the year, because I don't think Vardy's going to warrant getting a contract if we're in the Premier League. I think his swan song should be promoted.
You have to take your blue tinted or royal blue tinted, and you have to say, you know, Vardy love him to bits, but you go with the players that are on form. You watch that. tomorrow and get a hat trick on Saturday. I mean.
Oh yeah, well, you know what? If he does that, fair play to him. Proves us wrong, like he has to every single fan on the planet many years over and over again, and I'd be all for it. But right now, if you're telling me who we going forward with on the bench to come off the bench and disrupt the game, I think you've got Daka and Cannon, and like I said, we'll see. It'll be interesting, but I think he's going to start with Vardy to save Cannon for the league game.
Indeed. Craig, he's gone 2-1 to City. Which City are you on about there? If you dare say come back and say the blue one, I'll throw you out. But I think he's going to be going better. Brad, I'm going to let you go. It's making some funny noises. I don't know why. But thank you very, very much, mate. And I'll see you Monday. We're doing a preview for the Swansea game at 7 o'clock. Do you remember a show called The Call Centre?
Vaguely, but I don't remember it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So the guy, Chickenhead, who's on there, will be joining us for the preview. He's a big Swansea fan. And thank you to Craig from up the Cherries and all departments for putting me in touch with him. So we've got TV Star coming on. And then we'll be having the debate show, and you're standing in for Dave on 9 o'clock Monday, the debate show.
No, correction. I'm not standing in for Dave because no one cares for Dave on that. You know who I'm standing in for, really? We all know that I'm standing in for Iggle Piggle. It's not Dave. Dave's just a sideshow. Dave's just the voice behind the puppet. Or is that the other one? I digress.
Can't argue. Mate, thank you very much, and all the best. Have a good weekend. No match, like I say, watch along because I'm off to London. And so I will see you on Monday.
Yeah, see you Monday, mate. Hopefully we'll be able to cheer being in the 5th round of the FA Cup. And have a fantastic weekend with your daughter, mate.
Thank you very much, mate. All the best. Take care, buddy.
Take care, mate.
Cheers. And here we go. There we go. And all that. So thank you very much. Yeah, we're not going to be doing... there's no prediction show tomorrow because it is the FA Cup and we don't include that. Gives us some time off. And like I say, I'm off to London to go and see a show with my daughter. So we'll be doing a watch along at all. And we'll be back Monday with 2 shows. 7 o'clock, the Swansea preview with, say, Chickenhead from the call centre. And then back at 9 o'clock for Kate and the aforementioned Brad for the debate show. If you've been listening, thank you very much via your favourite podcast platform. And you can hardly hear me, or can you hardly hear, was it Brad where the noise was coming from, Anthony? You should be able to hear me. Maybe not, I don't know. Nobody else has said anything. So, but thank you for letting me know. So if you have been listening via your favourite podcast platform, thank you very much. We appreciate you lending us your ears. We are available, of course, with the TalkSport Fan Network. And thank you if you've been watching, and thanks to everybody that's been in the chat. And thank you as well to Mark, a.k.a. The Robe from Tilton Talk Show. Big Birmingham City fan there. Thank you for coming on. Look, if we go out, we go out. It's the FA Cup. It's not our biggest concern this season. But like every other game, I want us to win it. But if we don't, we go back to the league and Swansea on Tuesday. But fingers crossed. Come on, you Foxes. See you on the... Have a good weekend.